Hey, GodsGunman here doing a weapons review for CrossFireDatabase. This weapons review will be on the RX4 Storm. The RX4 Storm can be purchased through the black market using coupons. It can be purchased for 30 days for 50 coupons. I just got back from a military course this past weekend, so that's why I haven't had anything out in the past month. I did make an announcement about that, so if you didn't see it, that's why. And then I'm leaving again July 30th or so until August 31st. And then I should be back for a long time, except I'll have college starting then, so it'll be a bit difficult, but whatever, I'll make do. In my absence, Rory, a moderator from the Z8 Games forums, has decided to take up reviewing, I guess. He did make a video or two before I had left, but now he's made some more. And they're pretty good. So you can go check him out. I'm actually going to be using some of what he did. You can kind of see the similarities between our two videos in a certain spot in mine, because I decided to use something from his. But I did tell him I was going to be using it, so and I said I'd give him credit, which I'm doing right now. So go check him out, and he's pretty fast at pumping out the reviews, I think. A lot faster than me. I'm pretty slow, but might take a long time to do. But yeah, so check Rory out. I'll put the link into the description, and just check him out, I guess. So on to the review. The RX4 Storm is a bit questionable. I don't really think it's worth 50 coupons for 30 days. That's like almost 2 coupons per day. And unless you buy a lot of ZP, that's not worth it. And the weapon itself, from 15 meters away, will do 19 to 20 to the leg, 28 to the hands or upper body. Stomach, it'll do 34, and head it'll do 100. So that is less damage than the M4A1 by about a point or so per area. That's the M4A1's kind of the standard. It's the the standard, but it's kind of a low standard. A lot of the weapons that you'd consider to like pros or whatever that you'd consider them using, they do more damage than the M4A1 does. Like the QBZ does more damage, the AK-47 does more damage. There's probably more, but the M4 is normally the standard, and the RX4 Storm is below that standard for damage-wise. It does do the 10 rounds per second that the M4 does. Same with the Scarlight. They're all at 10.0 rounds per second, and that's kind of the standard as well for assault rifles. It has the standard 30 out of 90 rounds. The reload is pretty slow on the RX4 Storm compared to most of the other assault rifles that are used normally. The M4 being at 2.4, the Scarlight being at 2.17, which is pretty fast, and then the RX4 Storm coming up behind at 2.633. And the AK-47 is at 2.1, so it beats all three of these weapons. The damage per second, the M4 is at 280, the Scarlight's at 292, and the RX4 Storm's at 272. So the RX4 Storm is in last place out of these three weapons for the damage per second. Although it is pretty close to the other ones, it's only 8 damage away from the M4A1. And damage per second, it's kind of difficult to tell between weapons because even 1 damage being off, it's going to, like for the 15 meters away or whatever, one damage off on that, and it's going to make a pretty big difference. Like, the only 1 damage or so is the difference between the M4A1 damages and the RX4 Storm damages. And already, only with that 1 damage, it takes 8 of the damage in the damage per second. So the M4 is 8 above the RX4 Storm, just because of the 1 damage difference between the two. So you can kind of see where you have to be careful with the damage per second is it's not always dead on. In fact, it's probably never dead on. So just keep that in mind when you're comparing weapons. Don't only compare them by the damage per second. That's something that you should be taken lightly. So already looking at all these things, you're kind of seeing the RX4 Storms trailing on pretty much everything. And it's only temporary. You can't get this weapon permanently. And it's a pretty expensive temporary weapon. So, how's it feel? I don't really like how it feels either. I'd much prefer the recoil of the M4A1, and I definitely prefer the recoil of the Scarlight. The Scarlight has extremely tight spray pattern and low recoil, which makes it possibly the best weapon in the game in my opinion. The M4A1 is the standard, as I said before many times. I'd still prefer the M4A1 to the RX4 in terms of spray pattern and in terms of recoil. Basically, the RX4 Storm is below average in pretty much everything, and the things that it's not below average in, it's just the standard. Like the 10.0 rounds per second and the amount of rounds that it has. That's pretty much all that it has going towards it, and that is only the standard. There's nothing good about this weapon, basically, so don't get it. Get it if you want to try it, I guess, once, if you have lots of coupons, but that's about it. Other than that, I don't suggest getting this weapon. But let's move on to the thing that's somewhat unique to my videos. All the little clips. Alright, so here we got the reload. As you can see from the numbers before, everything goes out as you would think it would. Scarlight finishes first, the M4 comes in second, and then the RX4 Storm is third. Next we have the pullout times. The M4A1 is first, then I think it's the RX4 Storm. Nope, M4 first, Scarlight second, RX4 Storm third for the pullout times. This is just the spray patterns. They're all fairly similar. I think the Scarlight may be a bit tighter than the other two, and the RX4 Storm might be a bit bigger, but that it's kind of hard to tell because the different sizes of clips. But they all look like they're shooting in a T. Alright, so for the shots, for the first two, all of them are the same. For the third one, the RX4 and the M4 go off a little bit. The Scarlight stays the same. Basically, the RX4 and the M4, for the third shot, they go off a little bit, and then for the Scarlight, for the fifth shot, it goes off a little bit. And then it just gets worse and worse. So you can shoot 2 directly in the center with the RX4 and the M4. You can shoot 4 to 5 directly in the center with the Scarlight. Alright, so yeah, that's about it. That was my RX4 Storm review for CrossFireDatabase. Hopefully I'll get more out before I leave on my next military course starting July 30th or 31st or something like that, 2012. And I will see you guys later. Oh, by the way, if you have any suggestions or anything for my videos, just leave it in the comments and I'll read it over. I saw on one of Rory's videos people were comparing me to him, and they were saying things like his damages and whatnot